What is going on, traders? I hope everybody had a great long weekend. Happy Memorial Day. And it is Tuesday, May 30th, and we're looking at the daily chart of the S&P 500. Of course, the spider. But before we get into it, don't forget that this video is for educational and entertainment purposes only. And if you'd be so kind to subscribe to the channel, turn on those notifications so that way you are alerted every time we post something new about the markets. And give that like button a nice fat kiss. Really helps the YouTube algorithms as well. I wanted to make a quick comment actually about new content because I have finished this long weekend about 75% of a new script, a new shark bite that I am coming out with. Those take a little bit more to write up and plan than, of course, that these daily updates. But I'm really excited to put that out for you guys. So definitely stay tuned and keep an eye out for that as well. All right, so we're looking at the SPY here. Markets were relatively quiet. All right, we did open up pretty bullish, right? And then we sold off a bit, and we'll get a little bit more into the intraday action in a moment. But big picture, the markets didn't do anything. They were in the green, 0.04%. Final print was 420.18. And just looking at the daily chart now, we were talking about this in the last video. We're still above value, back here again. All right, but bulls keep buying it. And we are in this really tricky zone. So, I'm definitely being cautious here and would think that still my bias while we're up here is that, some type of a retracement again is needed in just normal healthy price action. Do I think that we're going to crash again? No, that's not what I'm talking about. But yeah, we are still above value. And today, and something we were talking about in the last video, today we did finally come up to, hold on, all right, the top of the megaphone channel. Okay, so that we are back again, and we're going to have to see how price reacts. That's where we were opening, right? And then we saw some of the sell reaction. Again, we'll get into the price action intraday a little bit here in a moment. But red candle, we'll have to see if this next candle opens up here. We could start to form almost an abandoned baby type of pattern, but still being above value. We'll have to see, how this 9-day period moving average shapes up. Right now, it's confluence with value area high. So, if we did come into that, this is bigger picture, but if we did come into that 416 area, all right, there's a chance we could see some buyers and then push us back up. But I would think that would be kind of unhealthy for the market, just being outside of this value profile structure. So let's take a look a little bit more intraday and get into that. I don't think there's anything else on the daily that I really needed to go over. Okay, my mouse would activate. All right, so okay, here we go. All right, so we had come up. This is what we were talking about. We were super, we ran up here into the pre-market, and we came right into the zero line, right? And then we started selling back down. And that was probably, if you were in futures, it was probably the best, really the best trade of the day. But when we had sold off, now this area here, it lines up better on ES, and I'll show you guys that in a moment. But we had come real close to this 32.6 extension, right? And that's where we started to catch a bid towards the end of the day, and then we just started to get pinned sideways. But take a look at this on the futures here. Beautiful tap right at 4,200 and a nice move. So really that short in that morning and the 2 o'clock long is the two best trades of the day. All this other stuff was just chop and nonsense to trade through. You can get in a lot of trouble trying to mess around here. Look at these fake breaks. And this is typical, right? We were talking about after such a day like Friday, and then we just consolidated. But after such a huge move in the markets, right? And this is basically Monday as well. What are we likely to see? More of that chop consolidation period. Needs to take a break and recalibrate after those moves. So I always hate trading after big trend days, because they usually lead to this. So let's go back to the SPY here. But yeah, certainly. So nice reaction. Definitely wanted to point that out on the futures right at the 23.6 there. So what am I watching for? Yes, I do have a loose bias, that we do need to retrace some. It is a bit unhealthy. That doesn't mean but I'll of course be just playing it level to level. But the main area I'll be watching here is that 418.40, right? We start to break that 23, then we're likely to see some more selling. We had the same situation, right? Just a couple of days ago. So it's kind of a deja vu type of situation here. Same level, we break, comes down, and then, ultimately looking for the sells back down to the 32.8, right? And if they break that, okay, then we're looking at the 50. Now, do I think that, now last time they brought it all the way down basically to the 62, right? And when we also retested this trend line where we bounced, we had gone over this in the other videos as well. So, but either way, that's going to be my marker here, and we'll have to see how this 20-day period moving average lines up into tomorrow. Extra confluence that if we break below, that we could see potentially more selling come into the market. But one thing that I did want to point out, at least from a bigger structural standpoint, is that, and then we'll go over the bull case here. But this is kind of in the middle of both. At least a better case for the bulls. Now, if we do break, right, we break under, we sell down, but we sell down and we stop at the 32. Structurally, from these lows, it's just a higher low, right? Even if we come to the 50, it's still a higher low from here. All right, so that is something to note. And, I don't know if we'll see as deep of a retracement. So that's just something that we want to watch out for. That, yes, if we're selling down here, again, it could be an interesting area to want to consider. Some type of a long position if we're selling, and then we finally come into the 415, I guess this is 60 area that we can see a possible move. And it would be interesting as well because it does line up. You can see right here the highs from last Thursday and last Wednesday as well. So interesting zone, and it would just be a higher low. So, we could break, sell, and then from here go boom, and then back up, right? Or it could even come just down to the 50. But as it stands, like I said, I'm going to be looking for some type of a retracement. But what would get me more bullish? Well, for me, we really need to get back over 421. Once we start getting back over that area, I'll start to feel a little bit better about initiating some longs. Yes, of course, if it comes down into the 23, would I consider going long? Yeah, certainly. But we are starting to get a little bit of a crossover here. I mean, certainly the moving averages are lagging, so take it for what you want. But the bulls definitely have some work to do. And today, every time they tried to get back up, and you can see it a little bit clearer here on the hourly. Every time they tried to get back up, it was kind of weak, right? It got pushed back down. They tried to get back above here, pushed back down, pushed back down. So, so we'll just have to see if we can, in fact, get over, start to recapture these moving averages, get over 421, and then we can start to look for maybe a test back up into 422.50, and then see about this 423 area again. But I probably would be out of most of my position once we got back towards these highs, right? I don't want to get stuck in another top here. So, but we'll have to see, how that plays out. And then from there, okay, we were talking again about that 425, that ultimate target, at least for the short term of, one of the ones that I've been looking at. But it's all going to depend whether or not we can get over and actually hold. So futures are closed right now, so we'll have to see how they open up. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, there's my bull case, there's my bear case. Those are my plans. I think overall, personally, it would be healthy to see it, the push down. Oh, and also one other thing, we do have to keep an eye on the debt ceiling stuff as well. That could come out, they pass it, and then it could be like a sell the news event, and we go down. So we'll have to see, as that develops as well. We can't forget about that. But as always, we'll just, all you can do is set your risk, play it level to level, and do the best you can. All right, I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to go over. Is there anything on VIX? Not really. Nothing else I think I wanted to cover. Rates were down. Yields. I think that's about it. All right. Well, I hope everybody has a good rest of your evening, and we will see what the markets give us tomorrow. Take care.